Hey guys, just wanted to take a quick video of the CEN Ford F-250. I just finished up putting it together with all the parts I bought. As you can see, it looks quite a bit different from how it did stock. Got these 2.2 eBay aluminum beadlock wheels. I ended up using quite a big spacer to get the offset to get these out at just the right spot. 12mm spacer. It worked out nice though. I did get some of these H-Tech, the aluminum links, along with this piece here, the aluminum lift. And I did give this a little bit of extra ride height using all the stock shocks. The way I did that was by taking these shocks here. See if I can get a good shot of this. You can see the shock, the bottom mount, is just a longer rod end. So just a plastic rod end. I got one that was about 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch longer. Gave it a little extra ride height. But in doing so, it kind of messes with the front suspension. You can see here I have aftermarket steering servo. This is, I think it's a JX 46 kV, or kg, sorry, steering servo with the reefs RC. You got to get the really long arm. And no servo saver. I think this arm is like 2.5 inches long. But the problem is, I don't know if you can see it, way inside here, you can see that arm, and then you could see right here, this link, how close it gets. Well, before that was actually touching when these passed like this. So what I had to do was adjust these links to clock the axle forward slightly to get it to miss, and it does. But so the one thing about this truck is the steering. We know the steering is terrible stock, even with an aftermarket steering servo that's got plenty of torque and a good servo horn. There's so much slop. I mean, there's so much slop with the way the linkage works, the way it comes across from the servo arm, then it connects to this other piece on the axle, that plastic piece right there, and with how high this is and the way just the way the suspension works, the slop is terrible. It barely drives straight. I'm constantly adjusting the settings, dialing in the steering servo. I'm constantly adjusting it a little left, a little more right, and it never does really center up. And it works terrible off-road. So I don't know if there's a better way to kind of get the steering, redo the linkage somehow, but the little arm on the top of the axle, and with all the pivot points, and the linkage is so long, it's just, it's not good. It's not good. So what I did is better. And another issue that you're gonna have if you do change out the steering servo and you're still using your stock radio, something in the stock radio does not allow the servo to move at its full potential back and forth. When I put this aftermarket one on, it just barely moved. This is supposed to have like 120 degrees of throw, and it was barely moving from left to right at full turn. And there is adjustments for that on the radio. You can adjust the endpoints like all the way left, all the way right, and then even still turn the dual rate all the way up. And it would not allow this to move enough to get the wheels to turn, as far as I needed to get a decent steering radius. So I ended up getting one of my favorite radios, the flysky GT5. I didn't want to spend another 70, 80 bucks, but I did. And as soon as I hooked this up, it was perfect. Way more throw on the steering, way more adjustability with this radio. So just keep that in mind when you get this truck. If you want to put another steering servo on it, you can do that, but you may not get the results you want as far as being able to adjust the steering when you put bigger tires on and stuff like that. Then I've got the Hobbywing, the Fusion Pro 2300 kV. Awesome, I love this one. Works great, super quiet. Yeah, so the truck's basically done. That's it, the suspension works. Everything works out well. I ended up taking the front sway bar off the front end, and I got some pretty awesome articulation, but immediately these tires just dive right into the body. because there's just not that much clearance. So, I mean, this truck wasn't really designed to be a crawler, so it's not that big a deal. I ended up putting it back on, but pretty happy the way it turned out. It looks pretty good, and yeah, that's it. So I'm pretty happy with it. So thanks for watching, guys.